Okay, what's up everybody? Now, this is a continuation of the last video. If you do not know what some of these functions are on the screen right here, then you are at the right place. If you do not recognize any of this code right here, then you are definitely on the wrong video. Please go to the one that was before this so that you will know what's going on, and thank you. But in this video, we are going to discuss this menu item right here. Okay, why it's a certain way and things like that. So menu inventory, we've got a list and a dictionary. This isn't really changed too much. This still isn't being used. This call function is just basically so I don't have to, I just write the function inside there and it calls it up. Pretty cheap. I mean, it's not like it does anything. So anyway, this menu, this item to player, this is an iteration, okay, of everything that's in our inventory. If our contains key is false, then we do this crap, okay, which if you've seen in the last videos, this is exited out, but it still works, and that's okay. Anytime you get code like this that's like just basically being done over and over and over, it tells me that we need a function to do this crap. Okay, so I did a function. Now, in our inventory thing, we done a type, okay, scriptable object, then we added a consumable, which is another scriptable object, but just give it a minute. I put this inventory enum in it, okay? This enum is for weapon, heals, junk, maybe buffs, you know, all the things that we may want. And then I got another enum for weapon slots, okay? I should have showed that off before, but I was pretty sure you guys know how to make an enum that's just anywhere. So there you go. Now, we got this if else if, you know, and things like that. This one will execute and then it will exit out the game. Now, the reason why I did an enum like this is because we're going to have a weapon, we're going to have armor maybe we're going to have some other stuff. But in any case, we're going to need different functionalities. For a weapon is nowhere near the same way that we're going to approach healing ourselves with food or buying something or any of that stuff. So we need something that's going to be able to switch up with the different functionalities. So equipment basically holds a container for either, actually I can go down here, a consumable or just a weapon. Weapon stuff, and this is for healing ourselves after silly damage, okay? And that's how it works. We're still going to have a button prefab because each one goes certain places, you know. I mean, I don't think you have to know what, you know, certain things do because it deals with the UI. We have certain buttons for certain things, and that's just the way it is, you know, for that kind of stuff. But for any case, that explains that. So anytime we do a weapon, we instantiate a button, right? We used to do it up here before everything, do a button and parent it to the bag thing, okay? Then we used to get the interface, and then I try to do this stuff, okay? I never used to have the enum here on stream. I changed it up so that we could do more stuff, but that's basically what it's doing. It's going, instead of doing the interface version, it goes straight to the inventory menu item. it gets the component for it, okay, off the game object that we instantiated. Then it goes in the com variable, okay. Now I used to do this right here, which sucked, okay. So we no longer do this stuff anymore. It's crossed out. Boom, done. Okay. We used to do item, pass it to item, then set the actions, and then add it to our dictionary and stuff. Okay. We no longer do it up here. Instead, we've got this weapon setup UI thing where we pass it the component, the item, equipment from this variable, and we pass it here. Then we pass it the game object as well. Now this function does one specific thing. Component inventory button. We had passed it the reference to button. So the component has stuff that it does. It passes the item, and that's all it does. Okay. Now we got our dictionary. Okay, our dictionary, it's adding the dictionary based on the key name. Okay, and then it adds an item data, which holds the button and the item. Now the reason why we do it this way is because this item right here, we need this reference to be able to remove it from the list, or it will get reinstantiated again when our inventory respawns. Basically, what I mean by this, let's go into the engine, okay? And I'll explain it. See, if we don't remove it from this is where it's getting it instantiation spawns, okay? Which may change later, it may not, you know, it's one of those things. Hey, are we going to change it or are we not? So every time we get one of these items in our list, it instantiates a button. It doesn't care if it contains it in the dictionary or not, right off the thing. So if we remove it from the dictionary, what happens is, oh, I shouldn't have done it. Okay. When this gets turned on like this, it instantiates all the buttons that it needs and gets all of its references. This is where the buttons get brought into the world. If it's in the dictionary, it will only spawn at one time. So if we go in here, do this, click off here, and then hit it again, if it's not in the dictionary, it spawns it again. Basically, let me do a little test run here. If it does this, if I do this and compile, it will show you a good example of this. Now, without the dictionary doing its thing and stuff, when we remove it from the dictionary, it's going to do, we have 10 of them, it never gets put in the dictionary, so we should get 10 buttons, and we do. We get a crap ton of buttons right here. And traditionally, they're pretty much the same thing. Actually, is it even going to let me use them? Really? It's not going to let me use them? They're non-usable? Really? Interesting. Why? What happened to the button? Oh, wait. Somewhere in there it doesn't pass the variable, does it? Or am I still passed in like a heal? Oh, it's passed in as a weapon. That is definitely. Ooh, slot 2. Okay, that's what's going on. Okay, so they all work like that, right? Okay. Okay, they all work. It was just because I had it on slot 2 and there's no code for slot 2 yet. Okay, so without dictionary, it's pretty dumb, right? Well, with any case, this is the code that keeps. We need this reference to the item itself to remove it from the list, because if it's in the list, it's just going to instantiate. But without the dictionary, here's what happens. We'll go into the game, okay, and watch over here with these buttons. Boom. Okay, we get even more. Okay, and more. So every time we do that, we spawn even more in there, and there'll be multiple duplications of the button, and that's just stupid, right? So for any case, that dictionary is actually doing a marvelous job of doing what it needs to do. So we definitely need it to happen like that. So now with the dictionary doing its job with this little key right here, when we go to remove it, when we get to that stuff, all we got to do is get the inventory based on its string, which the string is the dictionary. Okay, we pass it a string, it removes it from the list. Okay, it'll remove it from the list, which in turn makes sure that it never spawns a duplicate. Okay, we remove it here, then we get the game objects, and see how it goes items dot button. That's because we're going in that class that's holding the button and the equipment variable that we need. And we can just go, hey, guess what? Remove that too. And then destroy the button. Okay? When we want to, we can destroy any one of the buttons in there and be just fine. It's like we're doing in here. We're always checking for that name. Okay? And this is tailored to a weapon setup, where this one right here is tailored to a consumable setup. So component.item, we pass it the consumable. This is the item, this is the consumable. Now, just to make sure you guys follow and everything, we don't need that one, we need this one. And we're just using these variables. This will be null if it's some type of healing thing. It'll be null. No problem. Not that big of a deal. Okay? It'll just go, instead of going to one, it'll go to the next. And we'll probably have like 5 different types. But to have like a blank scriptable object, it's not that big of a deal. It's just like you having, hey, you don't have a weapon on you right now. Let's not do anything. Not a very, it's not going to like hugely make your build like really, really big because something isn't there and it's null. It's just like this button prefab thing. If it's null, it's not going to, it's just, it's not, you're not going to have to worry about it, okay? Now, we also still add it to the dictionary because technically this is all being held in the inventory equipment little variable right here. Okay, so we can use the same data structure to keep it, a button and the object. That's all we need, button and the object, and then later on we can destroy it. This class right here to clean up is literally like nothing because there's practically nothing there. And I tailored it this way right here because I wanted to tailor the functions a certain way without any checks whatsoever. because we're already doing checks right here. To have it do more checks right here is kind of redundant, like super like not necessary. Just make functions that are specific to this. It you know, even if they got the same signature, just call them this, and it will make your coding life a lot easier later on, because you'll already be like, hey, this is for consumable, so I go to the consumable setup. This is for a weapon, then I go to the weapon setup. You know, sometimes it's one of them sanity like things. And in equipment setup, okay, that's in equipment. So if I have like a healing item and for some reason it's not being instantiated correctly, because this is so generic for every consumable item, it'll just break like every one of them. So I know that the bug is here. If it's every single weapon, I know the bug is here. Or if the buttons actually make it in the game and everything, and they don't get parented and all that stuff, then I know it's something like here. See, I'm tailoring the functions so that when a bug happens, I know where to track down the bug. And that's very important. Very, very important. So that's pretty much the changes that I made on stream, except for one, and I don't really want to show it on YouTube just yet because it's not finished yet. And that's due to what the healing is actually going to do to the player. And the only reason for that is because flat out I have no idea on how I know how I can do it. A lot of times I just don't know a really super great way of doing it. It's kind of like one of those things, hey, do you expose it publicly or is it private? Do you expose it like not privately and just go someplace else and do something? You don't know. You really don't know until you just do it, right? Oh, the player change. No, I think I showed you guys the player changes. Yeah, I use frame updater instead. But I guess this is where I'm going to leave you guys out, and I could have put it in the other video, but I didn't. I probably should have. But thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you guys' loving support and all that good stuff. And, well, you know, I'll probably be on streaming again because my CPU cooler wasn't the greatest before. I started getting some really, really high temperatures and stuff, and I was like, oh, my CPU fan. And the only reason is because it come from China, and I live in the United States, so go figure, right? But take care, guys. This is War over and out, and I will try to get another video or stream out to you guys pretty soon. So just be patient and let me know if you guys have some real big super issues with this. There's quite a few like little objects and stuff like that that could give you guys issues. I don't look for them too, because I think if you made it this far, you probably already know how to do a lot of this. It's just you're watching just to get the idea of how you can. The basic concepts probably aren't issues for you anymore. But thanks for watching, guys. Peace out. This is War over and out.